Okay, I was just visited. Knock on the door. Cleaners. Got some new towels. Took my trash. Wasn't much. Uh, she's from Romania. A guy that walked by. He's vacuuming. He's from Honduras. Mucho gusto. That's a good thing to know. Nice to meet you. Mucho gusto. That's Spanish. I didn't know any Romanian, although I think I was here before and I stayed at another place and they had Romanians and I did learn some of their language. I've kind of forgot some of it, or maybe I forgot all of it. I didn't know that much. But as I said, I'm this country boy. Look at all these people around me from so many different places. I love that. I love that. I want them to know that I think they're awesome, and most of them act the same way toward me. Humans love each other if we're honest about it. If we're honest about it, if we leave the bullshit we've been taught, the hatred and the racism and this is my religion, not yours. And you've got the bad religion. I've got the good one. I've got the good color of skin. You got the bad color of skin. All that bullshit. That terrible, terrible sin that we keep with us for some crazy fucking reason. So anyway, I'm at Primark, ready to check out, standing in line because it's not open. Opens at 11:30, but you can't check out till noon. Oh my God, it's so crazy. But me and the guy from Spain, Jose, have a nice conversation, and the way that they treat immigrants is much better than we do. Although I also said, we have high poverty rates, and a lot of immigrants are poor. So you have poor and more poor, and we have to take care of the poor in all countries. The United States is really bad about that. We don't give a shit about people that are in poverty. We act like it's their fault. That's the easy way not to take any of the blame. The rich people are good about saying, "I made this on my own." No, nobody made it on their own. We fought for this country a long time ago and died many times. Usually the poor fighting the wars and the rich getting richer. And I think people are kind of tired of that all around the world, and that's why people are in the streets all around the world. And that includes Iran, that includes Morocco, that includes the USA, France. It's anger about not having a good life. We all deserve a good life. And we can make a situation where there are slaves and there are people that have yachts and penthouses and castles, but the people that are in poverty and peasants and serfs, they're tired of that. We're kind of wise to, hey, that's not right. We used to be told, well, yeah, you're supposed to be poor. You're supposed to be a serf. You're supposed to be a slave or a peasant. But we figured out that's not right. We're all equal and we all deserve a good life and we all deserve to live in a nice place and not be fearful of crime and having a fearful of losing our home, whether that's renting an apartment or buying. So, had a good conversation with a guy from Hungary, Slovenia, and then a guy from Spain. That was just about humanity. And like I say, I don't know these people, but we had a good conversation. People around the world talk about the same things. We care about the same things. What's the difference? There's no difference. We want food, water, safety. Check out Abe Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a human need. Water, food, safety, belonging, sense of purpose. Sense of purpose, man. Actualizing our potentials. Somebody may be a great poet. Somebody may be a great singer. Somebody may be an awesome teacher or mother. My mother was an awesome mother. She was also she worked at the library and she was the mother of all those kids. And she was what else? She was the secretary at Washington School where my dad went to school in the 30s. And she was a mother to all those kids. Oh, so awesome. She reached her potential. and she didn't make a lot of money. Don't think that money's gonna do it, man. That's not the goal. That's not the, what do they call it? It's not the holy grail. Personal wealth is not the holy grail. Let's get over that shit. That lie. That lie. So anyway, I'm coming back from Primark or whatever it's called with my coat, the one thing I got. And I figure I'd try, okay, I bought 45 pounds coat, which is, I don't know what that is, $60? I don't know. And I'm coming back through Hyde Park, and I knew where the speaker's corner is. It's by that area. And tried to find it, and it was pretty easy. But here's a table and some microphones and 2 chairs and some cameras, and I'm like, I've never been there. It's like, okay, what's going on? Oh, they didn't really talk too much. It was an interview, and it hadn't started yet. They had a sign that said, answer 3 questions and get 100 pounds. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I, stood around for a while and talked to a couple people, and the guy that was kind of running the show, filming a lady talking about Speaker's Corner and then interviewing a guy and the 3 questions for 100 pounds. And I'm just kind of saying, no, what is this? This is, and he's going, oh, this is all Speaker's Corner. It's not just here. I said, this is really organized. Like, this is the place. He goes, no, you can speak anywhere. And I was like, anyway, we didn't get along at all. So I got a little frustrated, and okay, so I just started talking. And there was, 20 people standing around in different areas. Nobody was talking. And I wanted to get back here. I was tired of walking around. So I spoke my piece. Part of what I said was quit blaming Trump. We need to look at each other. We created this world. We created this inequality, and people around the world are angry and in the streets because they deserve a better life. But we've created the world that cheats us out of that life and rewards the few at the expense of the many. We've created that. Okay, let's get over that and move toward the light, move toward a better place. We can do that. Anyway, I think a few people listened at a certain point. Maybe a few of them moved away. One guy was kind of an asshole. He's kind of talking in front of me. And I just, I stopped and I said peace and walked away. Somebody said thanks. But part of it is I don't think people want to take any responsibility for creating this place. We've created this place. And the generations before us, and we have to stand up to the idea that equality is what we want, and decency for everybody, and a good life for everybody, and as well as a clean planet, and the 10 years in a row of the hottest year on record in what is it, 800,000 years? We have a lot to do. And this idea that we can elect somebody that just says, it doesn't even exist. It's a scam. Global warming is a scam. That's a true criminal against humanity. That's a crime against humanity. That's what America is doing right now. Pulling out of all these treaties, pulling out of the Paris Treaty that's trying to deal with this huge problem, real and huge, and that needs everybody working together. And what do? We walk away. This is a sin. This is a terrible sin America is doing right now. And you say, oh, sin, you're talking about God. And I said, yeah, if God made this planet and we're destroying the planet, we don't even care. You tell me if that's not a sin. I was reading a little bit about technology and the chat bots and people getting into chat bots, and they're not being protected from this technology that is kind of treating them, so making their health issues worse, making their mental health issues worse, leading to suicide in some people. The internet is not built for helping each other. It's built for money. The media, which is being bought more and more by billionaires, you can see this being controlled. Your information, your communication is being controlled more by billionaires. They have their own ideas of what is good and bad, and what is good is billionaires, and what is bad is people talking back to billionaires and saying that we need to change and be more equal. So the new TikTok owners, I guess, more restrictive of what you can talk about, like the Epstein files, and it wants more information, more personal information from you. And this technology, which is making a few people super, super rich, at the same time, was it Amazon cut 16,000 jobs? Yeah, we need to wake up to the reality of the modern world and become, I just say, good citizens. That's all it is. That's all it is. We can do this. We can become better citizens. I think the Buddha said, it's not easy being a human being. No, it's not. And it's not easy being a good citizen. We're born into this Eden and these wonderful spiritual beings called human beings that we are one of. And, eventually we will die. We all know that. But in this interim, and, while we're alive and thriving, we have to be better at understanding each other in this planet and revering each other in this planet, taking care, respect. As John Adams talked about, the urgent appeal to become more attentive to the grounds and principles of government when they're forming our government in 1775, 76, 77, 81 is when they passed the Constitution. What is government? What is democracy? What is a good citizen? These are all still questions that need to be asked and thought about. What's a good society? What is a good society? I tell you what it's not. It's not billionaires with hundreds of billions of dollars and then 100 million people in poverty in America. And you can say, oh, they're not in poverty. I'm saying, yeah, they are. They're struggling. They don't know how they're going to pay their rent. They'll never own a place. They'll never own a house. They'll never own an apartment. They'll pay to the man. And the man may be a hedge fund or a private equity firm, half of them from other countries. But I mean, who really cares if it's the billionaire taking your money in America or in some other country? What does that matter? It's the rich against the working people. It's not always the rich against the poor. It can be the rich against the working people and the poor. So what do we have to do? The working people and the poor have to love each other, have to understand why we are here, which is to love each other and care, gain wisdom and enlightenment, and I'm sure love is part of that, and helping guide. That's what a citizen is, right? You vote, help guide us to a better place, a good place. There was an election in Texas yesterday. A Democrat beat a Republican for the first time in 30 years. Democrats will raise taxes on the rich. Republicans will cut taxes on the rich, which is what Trump did twice. He cut his own taxes, right? You know that. You know he's very rich and he cut his own taxes. And then they talk about cutting Social Security or Medicare and Medicaid because we don't have enough money. Yeah, we don't have enough money. We just cut taxes on the rich. So anyway, things are changing. I'm so happy about that. People are becoming more compassionate and understanding of, talk about affordability, but they also, the church is, helping lead. The church helped elect Trump, which was a mistake, but luckily some of them. what is it, Tallarico running for senator in Texas? That guy's smart. He knows the Bible back and forth, and he comes at this as a Christian that says we're supposed to love, not love money, love each other. Love the immigrant. That's in Leviticus. And Matthew, what is it, 25, 35 to 40, when, talks about how you treat the least of mine is how you treat me. When I was in jail, you came to visit me. When I was in jail, you came to visit me. The Republicans and Trump are talking about how we want to put them in alligator Alcatraz. We want to punish these guys, be cruel, be barbarous, brutal. You've seen the ICE people, brutal against these people, beating them up, just being bullies. More people are understanding that's not what we're supposed to be. Yeah, read Matthew 25, 35 to 40, how you treat the least of mine. It doesn't say be brutal. It doesn't say be cruel. When I was hungry, you fed me. Yeah, we've corrupted this system. We've corrupted mankind. Not just here, not just America, although I'm in London. London's corrupted too. The rich have corrupted, and we've allowed it and voted for it and been complicit. But things are changing. And they have to change, my friends.